happen is if you operate them at high pressure, they turn into what's called a spinner, and that's where it just starts going faster and faster and faster. I'll just let you know that one thing with the 570 now is that you take it. How's that?
No, I'm just
Yeah. So feel that. That's our standard spring.
That was
now.
oh yeah.
Okay. What we did is we put our check valve spring in every head. So now here's what I recommend. If you're going to do a new system or you're going to replace a bunch of heads, what you can do is save yourself a good amount of money. You know, what the list price is maybe like $2.50 or $3 for a SAM.
Right.
Okay, so now what you can do, since all of our heads have the strong SAM spring, what you can do is buy the standard head, okay, and you can actually put the check valve yourself.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you're doing a 10,000, then you want to buy them already pre-assembled. But if you're doing 50 or 100, you just have to take the internal out, just put this in. The only thing that I recommend is that because this is the sealing area, that circle, what you have to do is use like a nozzle screen to push that in.
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't want to push on that thin part. So, but that's a way to save some money.
Yeah.
And also, you can't. Hunter has that too. You know, Hunter and Toro have that replaceable check valve. Greenbird, you have to buy the whole head. So the other thing that we did that's different is right here. See these?
Yeah.
We changed all of the 4-inch, 6-inch, and 12-inch heads to that new rib design because because what was happening was the old ribs were much thinner, and after popping up and down for a couple of years, they would go out.
Exactly, they were kind of.
And unfortunately, Toro did not hear and listen to what the complaints were for probably 5 years. But we've changed everything now, and it's a much better head. But the other nice thing about our product, from a maintenance standpoint, if your seal goes bad, you don't have to buy the whole cap. You can buy for 30 cents, you can buy a seal. It's a separate part.
Not like Greenbird, you buy
the whole. So this is our rotating nozzle, and again, like I said, it's female and male. This is from 45 to 270, and these are the gray top. That's full circle only.
Oh, full circle. Okay.
So just to tell the difference, and it's $930 list price on all models. There's no different prices. When you change to this, instead of doubling the run time, you just have to go up 40%.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're at 10 minutes, you got to go to 14.
Okay.
You don't have to go to 20.
You don't have to go to 20.
No, because it's higher preset rate, and I won't go through all these because it's. But this is where this is that planter in the city of Calabasas.
Yeah.
And again, because the plant material is in a little bit, we're able to cheat. You know, instead of having a 180, we don't care. In fact, it works when it's curving. When that's curving, it's better to have that kind of you know. So we kind of take advantage of that. Let's see if this is I'll show you what this looks like.
City Calabasas.
Yeah.
Hey,
this is the entrance of to City Hall.
That's perfect.
So you can see
Beautiful.
it gets up there, and we were able to shut off the center circle.
Is that the Kardashians over there?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
No. Nothing close to that.
So, but for those kinds of planter areas, it's awesome. Now, here's another nice thing. Sometimes you take a standard spray nozzle. What do? You screw the screw down all the way to shut it off.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't do that with an MP rotator. You can't do that with a PRN. But guess what? If you have this, you can shut it off.
Okay.
So that's a nice thing. Now it doesn't shut it off. It shuts it off like 99.9%. You might have a drop every minute, but it basically.
So this you buy this separate, right?
You can buy it separate. For special projects, we will sell. We've sold to Hydroscape, for example, the fully assembled body. Yeah. So if you want a 570 6-inch, a 570 12-inch, or a 4-inch, we provide a price. Now our list price. Now think about this. Our list price is $575 on the 4-inch, but that's less expensive than a SAM PRS 4-inch 1800, and you get the ability to dial in the pressure regulation really. So it gives you a lot more control. Think about this: when you do maintenance and there's a clogged screen, the stem is popped up. You shut it off. The stem, you unscrew your nozzle, and the stem is still up. And then what you do is you open it up a little bit, and you get this jet of water, and you just flush
Flush
it,
it out.
put it right back in.
So plus, and then if this cracks, we can always take this out and put in the new one.
Yeah.
And that's it, we don't have to go to Parcel and get it.
Yep, yep. And so, you know, you just, if you ever have to replace stems, you might as well, in fact, I believe that these stems are no more expensive than buying a Rainbird stem, you know, 100%, because, you know, the big manufacturers, they have to add a lot more
I like this
overhead.
piece,
So,
it's convenient.
yeah, and you can get it, again, like I said, Rainbird or Hunter or Toro.
Or you can, I like this because you can shut it off, take
Yep.
the nozzle, flush it,
Yep.
put the nozzle.
Well, especially when you have a lateral line that's, you know, let's say you have a lateral line break,
Uh-huh.
that lets a lot of dirt in the line, right? So
Yeah.
now what you can do, after you fix your lateral line, you can say, okay, down there, you know,
Flush it out. Put it in.
exactly, just go down the line,
Yeah.
and flush each
The whole
one out.
Instead of taking the tap off. Turn it back on, turn the
And are
valve
those
on.
rebatable, Tim?
Yes, thank you for, those are rebatable. Everywhere the nozzles are rebatable, for commercial projects only, not residential. In LA, any customer that gets water from LA Department of Water and Power, $2. Pasadena, $3.
San Diego.
San Diego is probably gonna be $1, but I could find out.
Oh,
But,
you fancy.
but that pretty
That's
much,
okay.
it almost just about covers, I mean, for the 4-inch, I think they sell it here at Hydroscape for about $1 or something like that, maybe 95 cents, so it's pretty close. Here was the city of Simi Valley. Now, they made a mistake because they had SAM PRS units and they put the rotary nozzle on, the Rainbird rotary nozzle. The Rainbird rotary nozzle wants 45 PSI to work. So it wasn't throwing the distance. At the time, this was like 2.5 years ago, it wasn't adjustable. So what would happen is the half circle wasn't hitting enough on the edges, and the next one out was overthrowing.
Right.
So they let us come in and we did it to demonstrate to them the better performance of the precision rotating
Simi
nozzle.
Valley has a tough
Yeah.
time during the year
Now-
because it gets really hot and windy.
Yes.
Now the architects, they don't allow that no more.
Oh.
That close to the curb, they want
Yes.
a foot away from the.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, so if they had done the 2 feet, the Rainbird might have worked, but it wasn't reaching the
Yeah.
far distance. With ours, 30 PSI, we throw 17 feet. We just used the radius adjustment a little bit. In this case, we did not replace the stems because they had the PRS stems and it worked fine. So this was over at the Cal Baptist College, and these were the MPs. The MPs have a much higher angle of trajectory. We have a much lower, flatter trajectory.
Oh, okay.
So yes,
That's better.
and so it's much better in wind. If you
Much
have a
better.
windy condition on a site with 6-inch or 12-inch pop-ups, the rotating nozzle is really, provided it has the city water. That's very key. And this was at Sunset Plaza. I don't know if you've heard of that named John Horvath, but they did something unusual. They put PRNs here, full circle, with the little valve, and they got it down to about 8 feet. And then they used the precision spray nozzles here on 12-inch pop-ups. I would have used this everywhere, but for whatever reason, they mixed them. And then this is just in our own facility.
You can see the NP rotors going straight up.
Yeah, yeah. So it's,
or yeah.
this is much lower. So again, in wind, we don't have the coverage. We don't go to 30 feet or 35 feet, so you know, the NP rotator has to be there. But when you add this capability, and you can go from 3 feet to 25 feet, you got one nozzle. Like I'm thinking for a shopping center, if you could standardize on just side strips and rotating nozzles, you basically very simplified.
Mhm.
So those are the units. It's very important to remember how far does it throw is dependent on the pressure. But when you use it in conjunction with this, the pressure becomes not an issue, because if you start at 70 PSI, you can still bring it down to 3 feet. If you start at 40 PSI, you can still bring it down to 3 feet. So it gives you a lot of capability. This is what ours looks like next to the Rainbird. The Rainbird is a little bit higher pop, and in the planter it doesn't matter, but maybe in a lawn area it might be an issue. And then what happens with the Rainbird unit, and I don't know if you've used any of these or not, but it pops up, and then that's like it's like an old impact case. You know, it's just a dirt can get in there, I
Right.
think. So it's not quite as nicely designed. And this was out at on Walnut, where they had these in a mulch bed, and it just it's
Like that?
potential problem. This was a bank out in Yorba Linda or Placentia, and the reason I took a picture of this is because see how close those MPs are
Yeah.
to the edge?
Mhm.
So they had them so that they were throwing out because they wanted to get all this ground cover
Mhm.
wet. But on a 12-inch pop-up, if there's any wind whatsoever,
That's-
You're-
yeah,
that's-
and the streams are very light. So, and then this is, I don't know if you've seen it, what can happen is if you operate them at high pressure, they turn into what's called a spinner. And that's where it just starts going faster and faster and faster until basically it's just a spray pattern. So with ours, we can go up to 75 PSI.
Mhm.
With theirs, it's a 55 PSI maximum. You deal with rotors at all, or a little bit, or not too much?
Not that much, but there's, yeah.
So the claim to fame with our T5, it's been a long. Remember the Super 600?
Yeah.
The
it's
big
okay.
old monster.
Yeah, the big one. But that was what was it? It was the Super 600 or the Rainbird Mini Pop.
Uh-huh.
Those were the two big. So every rotor after the Super 600 that Toro introduced kind of just didn't work very well. Finally, I mean, they got so bad, and I say this because I haven't been at Toro. I've been at Toro for 7 years, so I know, what happened. But it's when Ed Hunter left Toro in 1981, he started his own company. From that point on, whatever Toro tried to do with the rotor was very tough. It was not the same success as the Super 600. And what happened was, as they tried different things, all of a sudden, Hunter took that rotor business, and then Rainbird got really price competitive, and it's really been Rainbird and Hunter, Rainbird and Hunter. But we finally got a rotor, and what makes it interesting is it's the same height as a 5004, it's the same height as a Hunter, but it pops up 5 inches.
Mhm.
So it gives you a little more
Mhm.
pop-up height without having to dig a deeper hole. But we now have something called Rapid Set. And Rapid Set allows you to do the arc adjustment without a tool.
Okay.
So when it's up and running or dry, either way. And when we had our nozzles tested at CIT, the 3.0 nozzle, when we compared the uniformity, how evenly it came out better. So we know that we can save water
Mhm.
with that. We have the 5-inch pop-up, we have the faster arc adjustment. And, that's kind of,
Then you get the competitor 1 is a Hunter, competitor 2 is Rainbird.
oh yeah, how would you, we're so subtle, aren't we? We're so subtle.
Why is it green? Because it's a green.
Green, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
The red nozzle?
Yeah,
No, the Hunter is always blue, dude.
Yeah.
Blue or, yeah.
yeah, this here is Hunter. And this one here is, this is Rainbird. It's
Rainbird,
got that, like,
okay.
that dark green.
Dark green cap.
Yeah,
Plus the way the nozzle's shaped.
The
Yeah.
100 nozzle.
yeah. This is that, we call it airfoil technology, but we have very, very good close-in watering. So this is, let me get my, well, I'll just, so basically, you can take it to the right edge, and it's a ratcheting right edge, like
Oh, okay.
just like a pop-up, you
Uh-huh.
can just ratchet it as much as you want to the right, not to the left, only to the right.
And
Yeah.
then that'll give you.
And so that'll let you align the right edge exactly where you want. Now, to align the left edge, you just go to where you feel the stop, and then you can just open it to increase the arc,
Oh, okay.
okay? And then it'll go reverse. So now I can pull, I can go back and forth, and it's set. Now, if I want to go back to 90 degrees, I kind of identify 90 degrees there, and then I ratchet it back, and it reduces. That red is reduction. So now my arc
Oh, okay.
is reduced. So I can go just by using my hand to do the arc adjustment. If you need to adjust the radius, you still need a screwdriver.
Yeah,
The
I
same-
saw that on the cabinet.
Yeah. But between the higher uniformity nozzle, the ease of arc adjustment, we're getting some trial on that. And so if you ever have a place where you want to try a case of those, let me know, and we can. That's the way my company doesn't like it sometimes, but I'd say, hey, you know what? I can tell you all day, but until
Do you have a visual of a?
you've got to use it in your application. You've got to see if it works for you. And